Good morning, everybody. Cheers. One day I'll do a cheers with an actual real beverage, an alcoholic beverage, but not at 6:30 in the morning. Definitely not when it's freezing cold. But one day, maybe. Never know. Maybe I'll start streaming in the evening, and I'll do it drunk. Get drunk every stream. Wouldn't that be fun? I might actually do better work. It's actually not even a hot coffee at this point in time. Oh well. Hi. How's everyone doing? Bit of a rough start today. Not feeling great. Very tired. Bad sleep. A bit under the weather. But I want to get the watch finished. I'm very well. I thought I was very close, but now I'm not so sure. But we can talk about that. I am close, I think. So I have to make a couple of important design decisions today about button placement, which might take some wrangling to move things around. So are you all well? Everyone's had a good week, I hope. Anything exciting happening from anyone? Get the other half on the stream sometime. She's fast asleep. Yeah, and unless I'm doing like a 4-hour stream, she's not gonna rock up. So, and I don't think she's really interested in joining me on a stream at the moment. I don't know. I'd rather swap with her. She can come do the stream. I'll go back to bed. Johnny, what's up? Says DIY in the ghetto. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at who's online. Say hello. Yumbo Prime, good morning. Your coffee is ready. Can I have another coffee? Someone make me a coffee. Anyone? Anyone nearby? Christian, good morning. Antonio, hello. Gerald42, hi. Andy Mouse, squeak. Ryan D, hello, Ryan. Looking forward to the stream. Don't get your hopes up. Ray, hello. Johnny, hi. I saw your post, Johnny, in the Tiny Pico channel. Sounds like your PS RAM has died, maybe. Is that from a V1 Tiny Pico? Or one of your later ones? I've only had PS RAM die on me 3 times, maybe, that I've ever seen. Dave Harris, hello, from the Wet UK. That's Taurus, hi. DIY in the ghetto, hello. Didier, hello. Alan Madsen, hi. Colormaker, Ian, good morning. That's Ian Scott Johnson. Too much of a mouthful. Beata, hello. Oh, it jumped. Richard, good morning. Jeremy, hello. Mike Swan, hello, Mike. Sid, hello. What? Just had to put away horses. Oh, right. Thunder and torrential rain and hail. Wow, okay. Well, I'd rather be here than there then. This vintage V1 Tiny Pico, the sensor hooked up seemed dead as well, so something happened. Yeah, something fried it maybe. Wow, vintage version 1 Tiny Pico. Johnny's still rocking. How crazy is that? Actually, I'm still using one. I've still got one here. Look at that. Vintage V1 Tiny Pico. Still got the little blue thing. I used to print those things to protect the antennas during shipping, and then no one ever took them off. And they look pretty cool. Look at that. I think that's one of the first Tiny Picos I ever made, and it still works. How crazy is that? Keen! Hello, Keen. Oh my god. Almost fell off my chair. What are you doing, Keen? Why would you want to do that? What? What's Beata doing? Signs point to yes. What? Will YouTube let me have only the chat open? Oh, to listen in the background, you mean? Or just the chat? That would be weird. You'd have no context of what's happening. Keen's up early, everyone. Shock horror. Who are you and what have you done with the real Keen? That's what I want to know. Sorry, it's really cold in here. I'm gonna put my gloves on. My hands are freezing. So I mentioned I got the QB stuff going on my air conditioners, heaters here, and so I get to turn my heater on like an hour before I come in the morning here when I stream. But it's so cold that I've put my gloves on. I've got special gloves. I can work in them, and they've got those things on the fingers so I can actually, but it's not great. It's not as tactile feeling, but really good gloves for my hands. Yeah, now I'm totally distracted. Totally distracted. Yeah. So I was going to work on my test jig chain, or my new test jig today, but I had some inspiration on the watch 3 or 4 days ago, and I kind of did a bunch of stuff on it and got it much closer to being ready. And then I thought, you know what? I don't even know. Like I'm not even still sure why I'm doing this watch project. I don't need a watch, an ESP32 watch. I've got an Apple Watch and I'm perfectly happy with it. And an ESP32 based watch, it just sounds like a software problem, right? Like, yeah, you built the hardware. What are you going to do with it now? Well, that's a software problem. And you all know me, I never get software problems finished. Hardly ever get them started. So I'm not quite sure still why I'm doing it, except I do still want to, I still think a higher end ESP32 based watch as an open source project would be cool. So I'm still planning on open sourcing this, and I figure let other people do the software or not. But it's turning into Tish, what did I miss? So you can tell other people to watch this. Well, see, I didn't even do that. I didn't do any punny jokes. No, YouTube, I don't want to insert an ad. It pops up a big message right in the middle of my browser. Like, it's not subtle. YouTube, you're not subtle. Now I lost my train of thought. Yep, lost it. Oh yeah, it's not going to be a cheap watch in turn. Like I'm packing it in. Ads aren't bad. Like let's face it, ads aren't bad, and we're all kind of used to them now. And most of us just ignore them, or wait for the skip button to come. And if there isn't a skip button, get a little bit grumpy, and then suddenly it's gone. Right? It's just part of our lives now. Ads. But yeah, that's just YouTube a little in your face. Ads and live streams, never seen. Yeah, I actually have that turned off, and every once in a while, YouTube turn it back on again. And most of the time I catch it. It's part of setting up every stream each week. Okay, that's a weird ad. Anyway, so I've really packed in this. Okay, let's just have a look at the watch. Let's just jump in. Let's just go. You would have seen from the picture of my thumbnail, maybe. If you didn't, I had a picture of I haven't done 3D parts for everything yet, but I had a picture of the 3D model on my stream thumbnail. Hey, Michael. Morning. I'm packing it in with a lot of stuff, which is just adding to the BOM cost. And like this MEMS microphone, which I guess doesn't have to be placed by people if they don't want to, is a $3 part. Well, it's a $5 part if you're buying a one-off, right? I've got. I did move to the BMI 270 sensor, IMU over here. I've got a fuel gauge on here. I've got under voltage protection. What screen? What do you mean, what screen am I using? What monitors am I using? Is that what you're asking me? I've got like a software, what display? Oh, for the watch, right. I'm using, you would have seen a few weeks ago, I'm using one of these. So it's a Cap Touch watch. So it's 240 by 280 screen. One of those, it's ST7789. And it's got Cap Touch on it. And we got that working on a stream on a breadboard. That was painful because of the breadboard and the wires. So basically it's going to be like an Apple Watch in terms of its, well, not in terms of the finish of it. Whoops, can't even get that on screen. Like it's this screen. You know, like Apple are not using this screen. Apple are using a much higher resolution screen, but it's kind of like that, right? And so it's not a cheap screen compared to how cheap you can buy other screens. And well, I haven't even thought of the case yet. I don't even know what I'm doing about the case. So that's the problem, right? I mean, there's a lot more to a watch than just the hardware, the electronics hardware. But until the electronics hardware is done, you can't really do the rest of it, right? So there's a few. I don't know if you can hear that. My microphone might be cutting it out. Some big freaking truck is parked right outside my thing. Anyway, what was I saying? Lost my train of thought. Right, there's a few mandatory things on here that you'd expect from a watch that you can hack, right? And I'm not sure that they should be on the watch if it's going to be a usable watch that people would wear all the time, as opposed to a watch that they buy that they can hack on and maybe wear and maybe not, but then stick in their drawer like all the rest of the microcontrollers, right? Like having a USB-C connector on here is a real pain in the backside because it's big, it's not the biggest part on the thing, and it's an opening that needs to be in the case, and it's something that you don't need unless you're charging, but there are other ways to charge that don't need a USB connector, and unless you want to flash it. But the rest of the time it sits there, waste of space, and it becomes a problem with, so this is actually the back of the board, right? So the screen is going to go on the other side here, which means which side does the USB go on, right? Well, OTA is sufficient until you brick your device, and then you need to plug something in to flash it, right? And how do you do that? How do you, I mean, obviously the easiest way, especially for hacking, development, whatever, is just a USB-C connector. Like that's as simple as that. But which side does it go on? So right now with the screen on the front, and I put my watch on my left hand, the USB connector is facing this way, okay? Towards me, not towards my hand. And that was intentional, but the buttons, I might have put the buttons on the wrong side, so I have to, you know, have a think about that. Having the power button right now on the facing me and not my hand, like if you flex your hand, really hard to do this now. I'm switching to here so I can see properly. So when you flex your hand, are you more likely to knock the button from your hand, right? Or from your wrist? You're more likely to do it from your hand, which is why I put the power button on this side. But then the boot button, which is also a user button once it's booted up, probably needs to be on that side, and the reset on that side. And the fact that you need to have a reset and boot button available. Hey Julian, is it cold? It is cold here. We've had we had the coldest June and most of July in like 10 or 15 years here. So yes, it's been very cold. Hey Dave Paul Jones, you will your watch. I had to disable OTA as my program grew too much. Well, you shouldn't have that problem on here because you're going to have 8 mega flash on here. I don't know how much flash you had. But you're going to have 8 mega flash on here with PS RAM. So that might not be a problem. But anyway, it's annoying to have those things, and I don't want to solve them in complex ways to make a nicer, finished, like a more professional looking watch that becomes a harder thing to develop on and hack. Can't you use a USB male and female connector on the watch band with a suitable ribbon cable? Well, no, not really, because that then completely overcomplicates the watch and the build, right? I'd have to have the ribbon cable still connect to the watch somehow, and then be in the band and protected somehow, and then a bulky connector sitting in the band, which is going to annoy people, and then it's a really complicated construction, right? So that's the thing. It's about, I'm not trying to make a product here. I mean, so I will likely assemble some of these and put them in my store if people don't want to assemble their own but want to play with one, right? But the aim is that it'll be a foundation for other people. If they want to make them themselves, they can. If they want to fork it and change it and alter it, as long as they contribute it back, right, then they can do that too. And then for people to hack on firmware and stuff. So I want it to be a fully open source project, but at the same token, I don't want to build something that's prohibitive for people to make themselves from a cost point of view or a complexity point of view. And I don't want to make the barrier of entry for people to hack on them high by doing some type of complex, if you want to program it, you need this thing as well that has to plug into this, and you need this thing that's got to plug into that, right? So for now, the simplest thing is to keep the USB connector on there, both for charging and for development. And unfortunately, to have to expose a boot button and the reset button. So the reset button, okay, you can reset the watch, but it's a redundant button. You can't do anything else with it. And you need a power button, which is a redundant button. You can't do anything except turn it on and turn it off. Hey, Mr. England. So the only user button you get is the boot button, which is mandatory to get it into download mode if you need to, and then it becomes a user button. So you get touch, cap touch, and one button. And I'm assuming that's going to be enough, but it might not be. So, yeah. That's my concern with it. Anyway, we should keep going with it. Any room with that PCB for a camera? No. And there's also no room to put a camera in a watch. Where are you going to put, how many watches have you seen with a camera? There's not enough I/O for a camera, and no. Where's a heart rate sensor? There isn't one, Julian. Again, it's already got quite a bit of stuff in it. And a heart rate sensor won't work unless it's on your skin or optically at your skin. So, that would mean that it would have to be a second PCB or something, or it'd have to, again, are there extra connectors? Extra connectors for what? Power button can't be user input for short press. No, the power button's connected to the software switch, not connected to the microcontroller. So no, power button is not, it's not an I/O facing button. What do you mean by extra connectors? Like a stemma QT connector? What would you do? What would you connect to it that would fit inside a watch? The idea is it's supposed to be a watch, not a dev board, right? What are you going to do? Have a watch with a whole bunch of wires hanging off with modules swinging around off your arm? It's supposed to be a contained watch, right? I mean, otherwise we can just, here we go. I'll stick a band on this. Put a band around that, there we go, with a screen on it. Stick a Feather S3 on your arm. You know what I mean? It's not a development board on your arm. It's supposed to be a watch. But I want it to be a feature, have a lot of features. Like there's again, as I said, a MEMS microphone on there and a buzzer, so you can get sound input and sound output from it. Could I break out the I2C? Sure, but what are you going to do with it? Make the watch this high on your arm to be able to get extra things inside it. Hey, Paul. Kind of, but not really. The ESP32 can do host, but But no, you need to shut everything else off on it, which means you need to boot it up into a particular mode. Like you need to shut down every other functionality of the USB stack to do it. What Bruce says. What did Bruce say? Will it tell the time? That's up to the software people, Julian. I mean, it could tell the time. So there's an RTC on here. Whoop. So it's a low power RTC. It's not battery backed up because you've got a battery connected. So if your LiPo runs out, your time runs out. Like you lose your time stored in the RTC. But sticking a coin cell on there is just, yeah. What did Bruce say? That everyone maybe a SCSI connector. Oh right, okay. Time is irrelevant. Yes, there's an IMU accelerometer on here. BMI 270 over here. 50 pin Centronics. Okay, so I want to finish this off. I think I'm going to, I think I need to change the boot and the reset position of the buttons. And that's going to be a bit of a pain. What kind of? What? Then you have the watchy. Really, I didn't know that. Keen that they shipped with faulty RTC chips. Wow. So here's the thing: it's an open source. So if you want to take this design and put a pressure sensor on there, go for it. But am I putting one on here? No. Like, yeah. If I'm going to put every single thing on here and leave nothing for other people to contribute, then there's no point open sourcing it, right? I'm just going to make the most expensive ESP32 watch I can with the most complex build and the most parts possible, you know what I mean, and the highest BOM cost I can, and sell 2 of them because it's too expensive. We are separate, yeah. So from now on, you need to, when you ask a question, you need to put serious or joking in front of the question. The watch straps keep breaking? Okay, well that's not a electronics problem. Someone else can solve that. Okay, so what I'm going to do before I completely break this is I'm going to actually back it up. I'm going to save this as an R2. Now I'm still keen on doing the C6 version, but at the moment I think that, so I'm just saving it as a new version because I'm about to break it apart. Trolling will have a folding display. If you're strong enough to crack the screen in half, sure. That's right, Christian. If you try hard enough, anything is foldable. Okay. So I need the boot button. I think it needs to be on this side, and then I need to move this over. So grab those. Okay. And yeah, I'll have to work out my precision button placement later. What bat do you think of using? I haven't even solved the battery situation yet. There are a couple of batteries that people have been using. I'll have to go back and look again. Someone pointed me to a battery, I don't know, a few months ago on a stream when I started talking about the C6 version, a battery that I think the Open Watch project was using, and I couldn't actually source them anywhere. They showed a picture, but anywhere when I tried to find one, I couldn't buy them anywhere. So I don't know yet. That's also a problem. Serious, what stock are on the Pixel watches? or TinyWATCH, etc. Is ESP32 powerful enough to have a high-res, non-rectangular display like those? You mean a round watch? A round screen? Sure. What do you mean, is the ESP32 powerful enough? Yeah. Problem with any watch is the housing that isn't too thick, but also works with OTS bands, but non-FDM 3D prints are somewhat viable for that. Yeah, I haven't even got to the screen. Sorry, the case. Yeah, I mean, this is an SPI screen. That's the best you're gonna get. Sorry. Yeah, you're not gonna be playing full motion video back on the screen. And why would you really want to on a watch? Okay, reset is there. So I need to bring reset over the other direction. Somehow. But I need to, okay. I can swap these over. Oh God, I hate this keyboard. Really annoying. Okay, so reset. Yeah, I'll I'm gonna have to. Okay, I forgot about those. Put the over there. I'll fix that in a moment, and then I need to get IO0 over. So I'm literally just swapping them around. I don't want to go here. Again, I'll have to fix this. So I need to swap the direction of that. So, oops. I can just hit X, and that flips the button over. And I need to do the same thing with reset X. And now when I update the board, resets move to the top. No. Resets move to the top. And IO0 is moved to the top. And did I move IO1? Oh my God, I'm an idiot. No one mentioned that. No, I took my gloves off because I was, but anyway, serious. Wireless charging, not to serve this product, perhaps others. Yeah, you can't fit wireless charge. Or for standard wireless charging, I mean, if I had Apple's R&D budget, sure. But the coil's too big, what you need for wireless charging, to be serious like this. Yeah, really cold. I'm going to put my gloves back on, actually. Thank you. I'm not sure why I took them off. When I was articulating with my fingers. These are invisible gloves, so when I put them on, see, you can't see my fingers anymore. They're invisible. You see that? They're stealth gloves. 6mm diameter, too big for a charge coil. Really? Time would be the least important feature. Yeah. Okay, let's try this again. I might actually go, maybe I should have gone this way. I should have gone this way, stayed away from the RF. And see, now I should be back. No, that's fine. Oh, look at that. I hate when KiCad does that. Why can't you follow the other way? See? This way. Thank you. Yeah, that's even worse. Okay, fix that in a second. Sorry. Hey, Dodgy Brothers. Do you have a product code for that? Yeah, like I don't know where the coil would go. The battery would be sitting in between the coil and the battery and the charge area. That's right, Keen. Right. Actually, I should put them back. I shouldn't have done this one. Shouldn't have done it. Come over here. Update. Okay. That is terrible routing, and I'll worry about it later. Okay. Okay, I need to wire this up. I need to get the MEMS microphone. That's what these are for. I haven't labeled them yet. But I've got I/O there to get to the MEMS microphone, which is up in the corner at the moment. Something else I wouldn't mind putting on, well, I thought about putting on, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. Some type of ambient light sensor, but it's going to be fully enclosed, so it's not going to make any difference. And just separate issues around the RX circuitry if you want something like Q support. WLCSP isn't really a problem for me, but again, yeah, it becomes a hard thing for people to assemble. I need to hook up this speaker. So I found some speakers. I think that's the right footprint for it. I don't know. Where are they? Is that? No. So there are two things I got from DigiKey because I couldn't find anywhere else. I found some. So I use MMBT 2222A transistors generally when I needed just a basic jelly bean transistor, and they're all SOT 23.3, and I needed something smaller. And so on DigiKey, I couldn't find anything on LCSC, but on DigiKey I found some that are SOT 723, which is the size I normally use for my FETs on my boards. So I've made them smaller, but I have to hook them up. But I also got some speakers. I've got to find where I put them. Or some buzzers, I should say. Messy desk. Oh, right in front of me. So these are little buzzers. I don't know how good they're going to be. So I normally use like 7.5 by 7.5 millimeter ones, but they're just way too big for the watch. Too big and too thick. And these are quite small. I'll show you what they are if I can. DigiKey. I have to go into my account and find, I can't read that, too small. Skip the tour, I don't need to see that. What? Why is it saying that my last order was in 2022? Right, I've got different accounts from memory. Sorry, I want to find. See, and now I'm going to take my glove off so I can use my finger. Actually, no, I don't. I can just enter my password. And I'll get to my other account. This is annoying. So DigiKey give me an account in US dollars and an account. Sorry, a US dollar account and a AUD account. View my other profiles. Here we go. And it's really frustrating. You can't see your orders from both. And switching takes forever. Sorry, I'll be there in a moment. Here we go. Shipped. Okay, so these are the speakers I got. I've not tried them, but I wanted something that was small, that was reasonably priced. I mean, these are still, you know, they're not 10-cent buzzers. And I needed something that would work down to 3 volts. I'll put the link in here if anyone wants to check them out. So I haven't tried it, but I needed something that ran off 3 volts. And then it occurred to me, if I'm going to be running it through a transistor, which you would normally do if you wanted to feed it a high voltage, I don't have a high voltage to feed it from. Well, I mean, I kind of do if I feed it off VBAT, right, or off the V-bus side, not the 3.3 side. But I'm basically, hey Loki, I'm going to, you know, basically be using a 3.3 volt I/O through a transistor to potentially only send 3.3 volts through power wires. But anyway, so it's pretty small. I want to just check the measurements of it. And it's got, apparently, it's a pretty decent sound at 3 volts at 10 centimeters. Now, I just want to, don't want to be playing tunes with it, but I just want to get some type of sound, beeping and bopping out of it. So, data sheet, pads. So I'm pretty sure I set this up correctly. As you can see on the pads here, but I probably want to check it again. So 5.2, 6.5. No, I don't want to direct it. No, I'm not going to do it through an I/O. I'm going to do it through the transistor. But it just, yeah. 6.5, 5.2. Yep, and oops. Yeah, it's probably a little bit wide. I could probably bring them in a little bit, but and it's only 2 millimeters high, which the other speakers I use are like 3.5, almost 4 millimeters high. I wanted something that was quite small, especially because of the battery. Like in this, the connector for the battery is going to be taller than the buzzer. So I got some of those I can put on, and I've got some of the BMI 270s coming. I've got all the parts on the way, but I just haven't ordered the board yet. I really hate this. Hate it with a passion. Okay, let's go and get these sorted out. So I need my block. Okay, let's get the I2S audio going. Where are you? You're over here. Okay, so the I/O I selected was 1, 2, 3, and 4. What? The display flat flex won't interfere with that. Display flat. Interfere with what? The flex goes here and wraps around, and it goes narrower. The wide bit is on the other side. Well, I haven't worked out all the measurements yet, actually. Like I have a feeling that this connector actually needs to be moved up. So yeah, that's yeah. But the wide bit, well, possibly, I don't know. So this placement of the connector was originally done for the other, the non-touch screen. So yeah, I have a feeling that this whole, yeah. let's not even go there for now. Let's just get this other stuff sorted out. I'm expecting some pain. I'm going to have to, I want to, once this is all kind of done, 3D print out just a mock-up of the board, and then line everything up and see how bad I've got it. And I'm pretty sure the connector has to move up. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I need mic data. Doesn't really matter which one's which. Oh, where's the, again, KiCad with the silly windows on the double-sided, on the thing, mic data. Actually, I should probably try to get them in order. What do I need? I need mic data, I need mic BLCK, WS, and that. And these are 4. So I want 4 is mic select. Yeah. Yeah, okay. 4 is mic select. 3 will be mic WS. And then that can just be mic, what is it, BLCK? Maybe? BLCK? BCLK. CLK. Okay, I know all my labels are different sizes. I'll fix them later. Yeah, the problem is I can print it on paper too, but I can't fold it around the paper. Okay. I said D. Really? And I don't like how KiCad sticks these
Geek
little
says,
orphans.
greetings, mortals.
Hey, Quixotic Geek. And this mic position isn't fixed either. Just saying. See that little orphan bit it does here? It shoots the trace off at the wrong direction. Okay. I need to get... So that's another reason why I left the transistor all the way up here. And I have a feeling that this whole section's got to come up. That's fine. That's just
Geek says, what
pain.
did I miss?
What did you miss? Lots of talk about the specs of the watch, I think. So IO18 is going to be what? I'm going to use 18 for the buzzer. Oh, I got, oh, base, right, okay. And that's not, that's going to be, so what are we driving it from? I have to drive it from VBus, I think. VBus in. Yeah. Okay, VBus in is my everything after the switch. So when the switch is on or off, when it's on, VBus in goes into the LDO. And that could be USB or it could be battery. and when it's off, there's no power. So let's just, let's say it was 18. IO 18, buzz. And where's 18? IO 18, buzz. Oh, really? See, that's the problem with the gloves. I've got an extra space in there then. Open SCAD, yay. Okay, so do we have VBus anywhere? It's all over here. VBus in, VBus in, VBus in. Oh, that could be interesting to bring over, especially if I have to move the connector. Okay, oh, I didn't do the speaker. What is this? Oops. Again, the window is open on the wrong side. I have to move it over and then bring it back every time. So it's SP1. That is SP1. So why aren't these? If I edit the symbol, are these not labeled? Positive. Oh, right. They're no positive and negative. They're labeled. Okay, so I have to change the footprint. Cable tie. Hello. So I need to know which one is. What are the pins? Where do they specify the pins? Never fear, Cabletti is here. Am I blind, or are they not labeling the pins anywhere? Can anyone see? Oh, plus load, negative load. Right. Wait, so that's... So A is negative and C is positive. Okay. Wait. Positive. So 2 is positive. Oh, here we go again, on the wrong window. I normally work with KiCad on the left screen. So that is positive. And that makes that one negative. So now, there we go. Other way around, it was mirrored. No, yeah. So if you look here, the corner of the triangle is positive. So C is positive. Right? Oh, have I got the footprint back to front? I've got the footprint back to front. No, they can go that way. That's fine. It's just rotated. Not back to front, rotated. Yeah, so the corner, C, is positive. I'm pretty sure that's right. I could be wrong, but you know, Yeah, I want thicker traces on that. Isn't one supposed to be negative? Okay. Let me just rotate this around so you can all see. Okay, if you look at the shape here, okay, 1, which is B, is nothing. The corner is plus, and the outside edge here is minus. Yeah, that shape matches this shape. That's the top of this beaker. See the footprint? Okay, hope we're all on the same page now. I've just got it rotated around so I can get to them from there. Okay, so I just need to get VBus over, and I'm going to worry about VBus over in a moment. And I'm worried also that I've not left enough room next to the battery connector. For these components here. But maybe I have. Yeah, maybe I have. Okay. So I still have to hook up the screen stuff, but as I said, I think that I'm going to have to move everything up quite a bit. I actually have a feeling that I've made a big mistake here, and that even the S3 is going to be in the way of the connector. So it's a really long cable. So when I hold it this way, although it's got to go around the PCB, right? So I wonder if I can get, I've got the wrong lens on there. Maybe under my microscope. I need to show you the problem. What I think is going to be a problem with this screen. I need to take this off. Okay, let me see if I can get this under the microscope, because my other camera has got the wrong lens on it and not going to be good. Okay, so the problem I think we're going to have, hopefully you'll be able to hear me still okay, the microphone, is that, hang on, that's going to be way too close. Let me see if I can lift this up. I know it's going to be out of focus, sorry. Let me see if I can focus it. Is that? Okay, that's good enough focus just to show you. So the way it flips over, so there's a bit of thickness here of the screen, and when it flips over, right, it's got this IC here, and it's kind of thick. And it's not going to sit like that. There's going to be a PCB in the way, right? If I grab, what have I got here that I can just put, do I have blank? This is blank enough. So if I put a PCB there, it's got to fold over that PCB. And look at this, it doesn't flex properly. See that? I can't, I'm sure I can. I don't want to do it yet, but it doesn't flex. Like, I feel like I'm going to damage the cable. You see this? So if I just flex it over like that, this is more than halfway up the PCB, which is a problem because that's where my chip is. That's where my ESP32 is. But it's not going to sit flush like this. It's going to sit around a PCB. And if you look, the screen, the cap touch stuff, it sits out further than the screen, right? So the PCB will actually be, it'll be further out, like it'll be out here, slightly wider than this silver plate. But I don't know how I'm going to get this flex over, because it won't flex there. Does that make sense? Like it almost needs to be like this with the connector the other way. So rather than the back of the PCB, so let's say the components are on this side, right? So it flips over, it rather than being like this, flush, it almost needs to be with the components, right? The components on this side, it almost needs to be the other way, where the connector is on the other side of the PCB and there's a bit of a gap and the connector's flipped over. So it sits like that with the components here. Because I don't know how this is going to go over otherwise. And then you got the chip which is in the way. Does that make sense? Is there a KiCad 705 part for the, what do you mean by a part for the Pro S3? You mean a footprint? In GitHub, there's a footprint for the Pro S3 for KiCad. I was in 6, so it'll load in 7.5. Yeah, that touch IC is what I was worried about. I think you need to cut off the edge. What do you mean, yes, everything? You mean a footprint? Have a look in GitHub. Hard bit flush and the flex bit coming up through a slot. Right, but if I do that, I still have the issue where the PCB can't sit flush on the screen because the touch IC is it's there. Like it's actually, like we're talking about more than a millimeter. Fold it twice, scrunch it up. It's likely going to damage. Now let me just go back to the microscope. You mean like this, right? So that's normal. I mean that's likely going to damage the. So if the PCB is sitting like this, I know it's a terrible PCB. I'm sorry. It was back from when I was tuning the network. So it would sit like that. I don't know how, I wouldn't be able to insert it because it's got to sit under, unless it went the other way, like that. I guess it could go like this, but then that makes the chip sit even higher. Oops. It makes the chip sit even higher if I flex it like that. But it's okay because it's on the component side.
Cian, chatbot has disconnected.
So if it sits like this, I mean that could work, I guess. But that's sitting pretty high, but that's where the battery's sitting now. Really hard to see under the microscope, sorry. Hey Graham. What? Maybe a good reason for a knockoff STM32. Hi Mike, what do you mean? What, knockoff -10 touch key built in? It would save millimeters of what? Sorry, what are we talking about? I'm talking about an issue of the cable of a screen at the moment. Compressor sneeze. Oh, right. Well, I don't want to do it double-sided. That's just causing problems for anyone else that wants to make it as well, and for me. Fold the ribbon connector towards the edge of the display. Fold it to the edge of the display. Okay, what do I need a touch key driver though for? Touch key is not the same as this. This is a capacitive touch, like a proper nice capacitive touch screen. It's not touch key. Touch key is just, the ESP32's got plenty of touch, cap touch inputs, but that's not useful for a screen. I got to blow my nose, folks. I was going to mute for a second, hopefully. Really is freezing in here. Elevator music, or no music.
Slotchebot first says nose farts.
Nose farts. That is that. I see. Figured they just built. Yeah, where's my second coffee? My first one's cold. Yeah, capacitive touch inputs is totally different to like what you got on a screen. Yeah. Okay. Use a 0.4mm PCB. Yeah, I don't think so. So I'm just reading backwards. What did I miss? Look, so I could probably leave the connector where it is if I'm going to fold it. And folding it solves the problem of how I'm going to get it around the screen. Kind of. I still have to flex it over the PCB. And that's going to be a problem. I think until I've got a PCB that I can put here and connect it, I really don't know what's going to happen. I think for the moment I'm going to leave the connector where it is. Dale! We were talking about you the other week. How have you been? Have you got a place to live now? Haven't seen you for ages. I hope you're doing okay, mate. Michael, can you come and bring me a second coffee, please? Okay, so if we assume we're going to leave the connector where it is right now, I need to just fix this up. Little ground thing there, and I've got to work out, is that even where I want to put it? Probably not. So this is just for the backlight, obviously. Mike will take one as well. How about you just come and bring them, Mike? Won't take you long, will it? Yeah, I'm making a mess. Whatever. Sue me. Life stuff. Not a stable place to live. Sorry to hear, mate. But it's good to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. So a little bit worried. How's Snooky? Snooky okay? I probably should have swapped those sides, maybe. Anyway. No, what am I doing? Let's do that. You stick a ground in here. Because I can't really stick one to the side. Because there are traces. Traces. Okay. So that's the transistor for the backlight. Hey, ergfubs. Turtlenet. Cool. The problem with the coffee robot is it needs to also clean the machine in between, right? And rinse it and do the blah, blah, blah. What I need is just someone to drop off a coffee. That would be the easiest thing, I think. Okay, so what don't I have hooked up? I think I've got everything connected now. I mean, it's probably going to fail. Oh, wrong screen. I'm sure this is going to fail in a million ways. Oh, not many. Wow. Device connected to only one layer. Yeah, what is that even there for? Oh, because I brought IO1 over by accident. Right, okay. Unconnected length just means that there's an extra trace just there. Could just do a cleanup. Unconnected end. Wow. Don't tell me this actually passes DRC. Missing a connection. Ah, right. Okay, 3.3 volts. Oh, I didn't, right. I didn't bring over 3.3 volts. Oh, and the same here. That's interesting. I probably want to keep that away from the stitching. I don't think I have enough room. Maybe. Okay. 4 errors left. Where's the arrow? Can anyone see it? Oh, VBus, VBus. All right. Is that? What is that error? VBus. Okay, 3 and 4. There is. Ah, hang on. Bet you that's got the wrong priority. And again, got to move the window over. No? What's going on here? Oh, wrong layer. No. So that's got 0, priority 0. Oh, I know why. Sorry. I've called it VBus in here, but VBus there. That's my bad. Here I called it. Right, that's actually VBus. Oh, which means that for the speaker I need VBus. Okay. Okay, that fixed that. hopefully. Find people writing harder than assembly programming. Really? I don't. I enjoy it. Okay, so what do we got? Missing connection between VBus in and... Oh, did I miss changing something? That's VBus. Why does it say that this is VBus? That pin on the FET. It's not. It's VBus. Oh. Ah. Okay. Need to break that. Okay, that is VBus. And this is VBus in. I'll look at chat in a second. Hey, Quindor. I don't mind making custom footprints, actually. Sometimes, if the data sheets are good. But yeah, I enjoy a good routing problem. So, again, sometimes. Okay, so the only thing I haven't done is brought VBus all the way down to here for the speaker. Now, I could make my life easier by putting the speaker on this side and the RTC on that side, maybe, but probably not. So I'm going to have to... This is my power layer. So this is all 3.3 volts, except for in here. I've got to be careful. If I want to get VBus all the way over, oops. I don't even have a... Wow. Would say one of them milled rectangular holes. That's a painter. Yeah, well, eagle. It's eagle. I mean, whatever. So what am I missing in chat? Beta all the things. What? I got Snooky in your home because I could not take proper care of her. Oh, Dale, sorry to hear, mate. Poor Snooky. Oh. When did Kycad 7 release? Ages ago. Catch you later, Quixotic Geek. Sorry if I missed you. So you have signal, ground, ground, power, signal, ground. What? Signal, ground, power, signal. Correct. So just doing... I do standard that way. Yeah. Top is signal with a ground plane on it, and then I've got ground, full ground, uninterrupted as much as possible, then power, and then, which I've got to clean up because bringing power through here doesn't need to be, and then signal on the bottom, with ground around the D+, D-, when I can. So I need to get a via in here for VBus, but I don't want to do it in the ground. I might have to getting an error. Don't know. Should just load in. Okay, I'm just... Why has my grid gone nuts? I don't like doing funky angles like this, but how do they vie between layers 1 and 2 without affecting 3 and 4? They don't. They go all the way through. Vias go for a non-buried via, standard via. They go all the way from the top to the bottom. That's why if you look at my ground layer, right? That's my ground. There's all these holes. So these ones, they're ground, so they touch. But these are all holes that go all the way through that block. So ground signal can't get through here because of this, right? So there's not continuous. But as long as most of it is, then that's fine. I've still got stitching to do down the sides. So they go all the way through. To avoid that, you do buried vias. That's not ground, it's cheese, haha. But buried vias are, well, JLC don't do buried vias, and buried vias are horrifically expensive. So I'm trying to get a in an ugly way. I could have just used a trace. I should have just used a trace, but I'm trying to I just want a via here. Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. I'm on the right size. Not going to let me place it. It's too close to that trace. Move the trace, and ground's in the way. Bloody hell. Still won't let me place it there. Okay, that's ugly. Very ugly. Okay, that's very ugly, but I can now do a really ugly power trace. So I've split the 3.3 volts there. That's going to be bad. I know, I'll fix this in a moment, but that's pretty bad. Yeah, that's not good at all. Undo that. I need to move some of this around. If I can get it through there, and if I can through there, still cutting off the 3.3 volts. I'll have to take it to the bottom. I don't know how I'm going to get power around. It's actually problematic. In KiCad, is there a quick way to turn off one side of the board so I can grab all of the parts traces on the other side and drag them? Yeah, so you can go whatever layer you're on. So if I go to the bottom layer, if I just hit H, that isolates that layer now. I can only grab that. And if you hit H again, it hides everything else. You've got to be careful though, you can still grab parts. Potentially. So it depends what you want to grab. But yeah, you do H a few times, right? And if you swap layers, it'll show you whatever you're on. So if I wanted, I could just grab this now, go like this, and grab those, whatever I've selected, right? Even though there's blue traces back there. So yeah, use H, which is the same as like right-clicking and going hide, was it? Hide all layers but active, right? It's the same thing. Except that now is, I can't do the H thing now because they're literally turned off now. Show all layers. Yeah, didn't want that either. Anyway, now I've got paste, adhesive, ask, there we go. Yeah, so if you go top to bottom, if you select that way, it only selects what's inside the box. And if you select this way, it selects anything it's touching. So if I go from here and I touch there, it's going to select it. But if I go from this way, right, even if I do it over there, it'll only grab the things inside the box. No, H isolates. It doesn't hide, it isolates. So if I'm on the whatever layer I'm on and I hit H, it's isolating that layer. H twice, see? So it's hiding the other stuff without actually turning them off. And you know about, so if I grab ground, and if I hit the tilde key, see, oh, whatever I'm on, if I hit tilde, it'll grab that whole thing and isolate the rest. See that? I just keep hitting tilde as I'm moving around. And tilde again to stop it. Okay, is seriously no one bringing me a coffee? Used to be a button for it. Yeah, down here, down the side, wasn't there? I thought there still was. I thought one of these buttons does that. Oh. I never understood what this was, what use this would be. Why would you ever want to look at your traces like that? Anyway. I don't even use these buttons. Like yeah, weird. Anyway. Only fill, no fill. Right. I just use B to fill and Shift B to undo. I never use the buttons. I don't even know what half these buttons are. I've never looked. What does this do? Wetness with curved lines. Oh, that's right. It does these curvy thing. Ugh. See, ratness, showing and hiding, right? I always go up to here to view. Show ratness. Wow, okay. I've never even looked. And what does this thing do? Moves actions to horizontal, vertical. Alright, that's just doing shift space. So I use keyboard. Like I've taught myself keyboard shortcuts. I don't even look at what these icons, half the icons do. These ones, obviously, on the right hand side I do. Okay, so this, apart from that one issue, which I need to solve still, I don't know how I'm going to get VBus over. Well, that's not true. So what I'm going to have to do is, I'm going to have to also route it on the signal layer. That's what I'm going to have to do. Because, can I get that through? I don't know if I can. I can't, I don't want to separate. I can't get that through. So to explain the issue, if I just isolate this, this is 3.3 volt rail, this whole thing, except for these little bits here. I can't go and take a trace from here all the way down to here. I'm separating the 3.3 volt rail, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm causing issues. Coffee laced gummy bears. No, you can get coffee laced stuff. It's not the coffee laced bit, it's the hot drink. I want a hot drink. I need a hot drink. Yeah, those little Copico, whatever they're called, I love them. They're so good. They're so bad for your teeth. So I need to find a way of getting this through without interrupting the power path like that. I have to. Okay. Actually, I don't need that. Can I get it through now? I can. Okay. Except there's a ground in the way. I'll fix that in a moment. So if I can bring the further I can take it using this layer, the less I need to isolate the power. Oop. So now yeah, I don't like the squiggly bit. I'll fix the squiggly bit later. So now I can continue this. Okay, whatever, if I just put it here for now. Okay, now I've only got, it's still not great, but now I'm only interrupting the 3.3 volt rail through here. And I'm doing it here anyway. So there's still plenty of ways for the 3.3 volts, like from here to get all the way to here. So that's better. It's still not perfect. You're still on EagleCAD 6. You don't want to give Autodesk your monies? Is that the problem? Okay, so let's just see if this passes DRC. If it does, we'll clean it up. It does. Okay. So it passes, but I'm still not liking this. But maybe if we go this way, to there, I can now do the rest on the top layer. There we go. Now we don't need that, or that, or that, or that. I'm really liking Warp Terminal. Yeah, I was using Warp earlier on, and it had some pretty nasty usability things which I hated, but apparently they've fixed them now, but I haven't gone back to it. Okay, so now I've only got this as the interruption instead of all the way through here. So that's now a smaller interruption than what I had for VBAT. And the other thing I can do is this VBAT interruption. I can actually bring that right over. I can make that shorter. I can actually bring that to the other side of it. Okay, that's even shorter now. This is ugly. You're still in bad keen, but I need to get VBAT to this, so that's where the fuel gauge is. here, which needs VBAT, unfortunately. And I've got no easy way to get it over. And it's got to come all the way down to here. But there's no 3.3 down the side here anywhere, is there? No, so why don't I go around the outside? I could actually go down here. And not through the middle. Actually, no, that blocks off this whole section now. That's like a wall from one half to the other half. See that? That's even worse, I think. Oh, you know what I can do? I can just take it to here. Except I've got to be off that mode. It's not very neat, but so now I've got issue here and here. But I've got less blocking the whole thing. I think that's better. Can I just do it on the top? Callum, what do you mean do it on the top? I mean, I want to keep a contiguous ground plane here. I'm going to have to put some stitching down here. I mean, I could do it on the top, but this really isn't a problem anymore. So, because there's a clear path now in every direction. It's not like a tennis court where I put a net across the middle, which blocks both sides, right? The idea is to block as little as possible of the plane of the fill, so the electrons can choose their own path, their best path to get around stuff, right? Alan, what's if you try loading into an earlier version of KiCad? They're KiCad 6 footprints, but they should be backward compatible. I think they're KiCad 6 ones, footprint and symbol. Excuse me. So it should be working. I don't know. Is the orange trace wide enough? Which one? This one? This isn't for power. This is to it's basically it's a pull-up, and this is for the fuel gauge. So it's although it's powering the chip, it's measuring the battery. So it's not it's not a power path. Like that's a power path. Whoops. Oh my god. That's a power path. That's a pretty chunky trace. Except the window's on the wrong thing again. Oh, come on. That's a 0.52 millimeter trace. Half a centimeter wide. I think that's going to be good enough. I'm looking for a watch to add GPS and LoRaWAN. Ideally with the wireless or magnetic charging connectors also. Yeah, well, yeah. It won't be this watch, Daniel, sorry. I'm not planning on wireless charging or magnetic charging. because I still need flashing, and I don't know how you get, like, you're not going to be able to connect a GPS and LoRa to this. Where would you put them? I mean, you'd need them on board on the watch, right? Okay. Still passes. So apart from the connector position, so what I need to do now is, can I go tell you how wide a path needs to be based on the current and part pulls? I don't know. I mean, there is a calculator. Where is it? Do you know where the calculator is? Calculator tools. So if you go in here, there's a calculator tools thing, but that's different. Like it's I don't know if it don't think it analyzes your board specifically, but you can go like track width here, right? And you can. Why does that come up twice? I must have double clicked it. So you say how much current and length and whatever else, and it'll calculate stuff for you. Right, and you got you can do all sorts of stuff with this via size calculators and everything, but I don't know. I don't think it actually goes through and checks your board. Like I don't think I can go to this trace here and give it some properties. I don't think. Maybe that like I say to it, okay, I want you to support 1 amp and whatever, blah 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 blah, and then have this thing go and calculate it. I think this is just a separate calculation tool. It does a lot of stuff I've never even looked at. So and the problem is you need to know a lot of data to be able to do this. Well, that's pretty ugly, isn't it? I should report that, bug report that visually. Anyway, do you use the add teacher up option if you kill what? If you kill somebody. Oh, that's very funny. Life and cycling. Yeah, okay. I'm targeting board sandwich through I2C in a pocket watch case. So I don't know what a pocket watch case is. Let's find out. But I couldn't possibly see how you could sandwich ice. Well, depends on the connector. Pocket watch. Am I look? No, that's not right. So what is the? Do you have a link to pocket watch? What we're talking about? You're not talking about this type of pocket watch. Pocket watch. What am I looking for? Is that pocket watch? Oh, that's nice. Jeez. Is that? You're talking about this pocket watch? Which one we're talking about? There's too many. I know it's a wristwatch. Well, is it a wristwatch? Hey, Yazzie. Good morning. Oh, that's cute. Okay, look at how thick that is. How's your morning, Yazzie? Everything okay? The first style, just in a pocket watch shell. I don't know what you mean this one. In a pocket watch shell. Okay, I still don't know which one you mean specifically. But anyway. We're talking about really thick. Like how would, like it You got to get a screen, you got to get a battery, you got to get 2 PCBs sandwiched together, and all the chips. Like, you're talking about what? $12mm? 13mm? Is Alan here? Alan is not. No. Why? What's up? Yes? Like, I don't know. I don't want to wear a watch like that on my hand, on my arm. That'd be... It's way thicker than an iPhone. I mean, this screen alone is 4mm. Like, the smallest, thinnest battery you're going to get, I think, is going to be like, maybe, you know, at best 5mm. So that's 9mm for a battery and a screen. Then you've got a PCB with components. Oh, that's really funny, Yuz. Yeah, I don't think he's not here. I don't think. You saw him, blew him a kiss. He probably had a heart attack. You freaked him out. So a PCB, a 1mm PCB plus components, connectors and stuff. Let's say 4mm for one PCB, and then another PCB, and then like a LoRa module, and a GPS module. Like, you're looking at 25mm or more. Is that really what you want to put on your wrist, Daniel? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not... I mean, each to their own, whatever. But like... Like, that'd be super thick. I don't know what it is, Alan. I can't look right now. Sorry, mate. And I don't know what it is, but other people have it loading in okay, and I've got it loading in okay. So I don't know. I know a pocket watch doesn't go on your wrist, but he was saying he wanted a wrist one. A wrist version, is what he said. It's got a metal back, and everything interferes with the Wi-Fi connection, sure, but you tune it accordingly. You wouldn't tune the RF in isolation. You'd tune it somehow with the screen there. And putting it inside a case is going to affect the RF. You know what I mean? That's, yeah. Yeah. Catch you later, Dave. I don't mind the pocket watch thing. Like, I really like that Neopixel one. That looks great. Anyway, but yeah, I'm not, yeah, I don't see how you could possibly have all that hardware in a watch.
Taurus says Yuz asked, if F's basketball's in your car.
Yeah, probably. It's in my car. Yeah. From the other day. Didn't take it out. Yes. I'm pretty sure. Would you like me to go check, Yuz? I can go check. You're going to swing past and grab it? Let me know if you want me to check. Oh, you've already said, can you pick it up on the way through? Okay, I'm going to go check. 1 second, folks. I need to go check my car. Okay, well, here's a basketball. Yuz, I have it. Feel free to come past and get it. Basketball is super important, especially with Flynn. Okay, just go looking backwards. Okay, see you soon, Yuzzy. So I think at this point in time, what I need to do is not worry so much about the connector for the screen, position and stuff, is just to get this fabbed. Get it fabbed and make it. Connect the screen and make sure everything works. I think trying to solve how it all fits together, how the cable's going to bend in this for the screen, how it's going to work with a case, and all of those things, I think that is a problem for a second revision. I think a first revision is to ensure that all the hardware works. The microphone works, the speaker works, the power paths all work, the on-off works, that it's not draining the battery too much when it's off, that I can flash it. I think that is the step. And then if I need to move the screen connector, no, cable tie, no. Have a good day. We need to catch up for a coffee when you have time one day. I think once I've validated everything, then we can look at how will it fit in the case. You know, like I'm using these little sideways button things, these ones, which do protrude a little bit from the thing, but the idea is that the case will have a button in it that you push, like, you know what I mean? You won't be touching that actuator, you'll be touching something that pushes that actuator, right? I know it's a cool job, but still, we'll never see you anymore. Display over low power mode when screen is off. I have no idea, but the screen is powered. Like if you turn the watch off, the screen turns off. So I'm talking about actually off, like a power button. Like I can turn my Apple Watch off. I can literally shut it down, right? You can do this with the watch as well. Like you can get it to the point where the only thing that happens, you can charge it. You can charge the battery when it's off, but none of the 3.3 volt rail is enabled when it's turned off. So everything shuts down, like all the peripherals shut down. The only thing that's powered is the fuel gauge stays powered, because you don't want to be turning that on and off and on and off. It needs to constantly be seeing the battery. And I don't know if the screen itself has a sleep mode when it's powered, but you've got the backlight. The most expensive part of the screen is the backlight, and there's backlight control, so you can, you know, dull it down. You can literally turn the backlight off. Merry Christmas. Why are we saying Merry Christmas to Cable Tie? So yeah, there's a lot of things to solve, and as you can see, although the USB connector is covering it there, I've got there's no mounting holes, right? Because there's no room to put mounting holes. But I've got these half cut wedges. So the idea is that they will, firstly they're keyed. This one on here is lower slightly than this one on purpose. So you can the watch will only go in the correct way into a case, and then the PCB will get held in place with these things. So, I mean, these outside corners of the screen, of the PCB, they're not the same as they're the same as the metal on the back here, but the actual screen itself has got a much wider curve. Is screen brightness PWM? Yeah, you can PWM it. You can PWM any I/O on the S3, on the ESP32. So yes, that's what's going through this here, this backlight control. That's a backlight pin. The cathode. There's also, I don't know if I mentioned, I've got ESD TVSs on here as well. I figured if you're going to be wearing it and potential static clothes going off and on it, so there's TVS on the power and the USB data lines. What else? Don't even know if a microphone's going to work. Like, it could be completely muffled between the screen, the battery, and a case. Yeah. And I don't know whether this whole PCB needs to be shrunk or not. Maybe the whole thing needs to be reduced slightly to allow for a curve at the back of a case. Like, I'm pretty used to the Apple Watch, right? Like, I even for me, the Apple Watch is big on my wrist. Like, that's the small version. That's the small Apple Watch face. The small of the latest editions. And, like, yeah, I wouldn't want anything bigger on my wrist than that. And this is already going to be bigger, I think, by a lot. The bulkiness of the case. But anyway. Cool. So, I'm going to send this off to JLC today. I've got some other stuff to send off as well. That's not the right model, by the way. That's why it looks funny. That's just my shrunk down 7.5mm model. How thick is the Apple Watch? It's pretty thin, considering. Let me measure it. At its thickest point, it's 12.7mm, because it's got that curve at the bottom. It's got a curve at the bottom. You see that curve? Where the heart rate sensors and all that stuff is. But that sits in your wrist cavity here. So you don't actually feel that. And then the actual case itself, where everything is all in, including the screen, it's just under 12mm. I mean, yeah. This watch is going to be bulkier than that, for sure. They've been around for a while, about Prime. I mean, the S3 one's only maybe 6 months, but the normal ESP32 ones have been around for ages. We made a Dick Tracy community. I don't know. I'm sure some people have, or something like it. Will it be water resistant? Oh, of course. Imla, yeah, this watch, you'll be able to dunk it in the water. No, it will not be water resistant. I'm not actually designing like a proper high-end professional watch, right? It's a microcontroller based watch, but yeah, I mean, like the USB connector and the battery connector. Hey, Pro Engineer, I mean, they alone are they're bulky. I mean, with the PCB with the USB is like 4.5mm high. So I wonder how big that is. Yeah, so the Pico blade, with that Pico blade connector, which is the battery connector, right? So we're talking about 5mm. So you got 5mm and the screen was 4, so that's 9. Assuming everything's sandwiched completely together, then you got a battery, which again, what did I say it was? Some form of battery is maybe 5. So 5 and 5 is 10. So 14mm already for everything without a case, right? And you're going to need at least, what, 1.4mm thick walls of a case, maybe 1.2. So that's the thickness of the case alone of the shell. You're looking at, what do we have to, so like probably 17mm. Can't fill it in with hot snot. So like probably 17mm minimum for this watch. So it's going to be thicker than the Apple Watch, but it's still going to be pretty thin compared to other watches out there. I hope. I could be wrong. I don't know. Okay, been going for 2 hours. My coffee's cold. Yuz is on her way to get basketball. What's the tallest part? That would be the here. would be with the Pico blade connector, which is the smallest standard battery type connector you can get. So you're going to want some buffer between this and the battery as well, at least a millimeter or two. There are cup warmers, I know, but this is a takeaway coffee. Anyway, and a cold takeaway coffee. I'm not even going to try it now. Yeah. I don't even know where the battery's going to sit. We'll work it out, but let's prove that this works first. I think that's the plan. No, cold coffee on a warm day when it's intentionally cold, absolutely. But cold coffee when you're sitting here with frozen fingers and a frozen nose and ears, like, oh my God, and you want a warm drink, not so good. Okay, folks, I think, well, that's a success. That's the first time I've said I'm going to finish a board and actually finish it on a stream. Just in time, because it's like really late for everyone. I'm going to order this today, 100% guaranteed. Going to order it, and I'm not going to get it by next week, I don't think, but I'll build it on stream when I get it, and we'll try it, and we'll see if it even remotely works. And maybe in the meantime, I'll try to model up the screen as a mock-up in Fusion, get this board into Fusion, and see if I can do maybe a rough mock-up of a case. But I need to find a battery. If anyone knows where to get a battery, like a thin battery, the thinnest battery I can get that's no bigger than like 20 by 24, let me know. So 20 by 24 by 5 millimeters. I know thin equals low milliamp hours, but also I don't want to put a, you know, yeah. I mean, like they're too big. Like that's, well, I mean, that's, you know, plus a case. Anyway. And these are only, well, that's 400 milliamp hour. 301230. What is 301230? On alley. Oops. Oh, what is it? Why does it ask me if I'm over 18? Okay. You mean these? Yeah, that's 110 milliamp hour. Yeah, they're long. What are the dimensions? Oh, but it's okay. 30 is too long. Was 30 too long?
Cian, chatbot has disconnected.
30 is not too long, actually. And 12 millimeters, which means it could fit through the middle. So it can fit between, and only 3 millimeters wide. That's really small though, 110 milliamp hour. But that could fit through this center. Hang on. Oh, I know I said I'm going to go, but okay. So what did we say it was? Wait, why is that not letting me draw? What? User comments, box. Why can't I draw? Oh, right, I'm an idiot. Okay, to do a box, user comments. So I gotta actually click like this. Oh, it's gonna do a square. I don't want a square. So 30. By, was it 12? Make it 12.5. Something like this. Okay, see that can fit in between the USB and the battery connector. Although I don't know how the cable would fit in then. $851740. Is that, when you say a drone battery, is it a red or a white? Oh, that 8.5 too thick. Oh, way too thick. No, 5 is the maximum thickness, and 40 is too long. That other battery, yeah, that's still... Yeah, that's 8.5 thick. And 17 wide and 40 long. Yeah, that's no good. Read your last comment. If you put the USB and battery connector on the same edge, there'll be room for the battery. I can't get the USB and battery connector on the same edge. Yeah, that's like saying if you put on a car, if you put all 4 wheels on one side, you can make the car narrower. Yeah, the car can't work that way. I can't get the battery on the same side. Yeah, no room, and the whole way the power lays out needs to be this way. The part number indicates the size, does it? Oh yeah, 8.51740. Wow, it does too. Well done. No, I can't squeeze in a key charging thing, I don't think. Because you need the rest of the stuff. Have you not seen Malcolm? Who's Malcolm? Malcolm in the middle. What? Okay. This... I wonder how long I can run this on 100 milliamp hours. I have smaller batteries for my animal trackers, but they have very little capacity. Yeah. I need something in between. Like, I need something... I'd be happy with 4 to 5 millimeters. So what is it? 301230. I'm sure if I go 401530. Oh my god, no way. 401530. Here we go. 4 millimeters, 15 wide, 30, 200 milliamp hours. So double the capacity. Oh, here's yours. Here we go. 1 second, everyone. Hi. Hello. You want to come and say hi? Okay. Yaz and Flynn are coming to say hi. Careful of the floor. Hang on, let me switch cameras. Hey, it's Flinny.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry about the ball being in my car.
It's fine.
It's fine. You left it there too. Hi.
You said you would bring it back at home.
Yeah, well, I forgot and you forgot.
You did.
We both were in the car.
3 times.
That's right, I brought it home and took it with me. Brought it home and took it with me. It was rolling around in my car. I wonder what that noise was.
How did you not notice that if it was rolling around in your car?
Because I wasn't paying attention.
But you said you heard it, so...
Anyway, yeah, say hi? No? Okay. No? Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I'm wrapping up anyway. Ken says hi. Mike says hi.
I don't know who they are.
Yaz is off to the snow.
She's not off to the snow, she just went
Dutch
to
Taurus
Sydney.
says hi, Euros.
I think Mum has had enough of going to trips for now.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good time at school.
I will.
Hi, bye. Okay. Okay, folks. I think I've got a battery.
Intermit Tech says waves.
Waves. It's not double the size, but it's double the capacity. I had to mount either the battery connector or USB with the PCB cut out to make it lower. No. Or you can get USB connectors that kind of mount funny, but they're still the same height, so it won't help. And you need it, yeah. Anyway, I can't solve the height of the connector. I'm not, I'm not putting solder pads to solder the battery on. I want the battery removable. So there is some things I can't help. I can't help the height of the Pico blade connector or the USB. And the USB is lower than the Pico blade, right? So that's something we need to live with, Ragaload. It doesn't need to be solved. I just need to find an appropriate battery, that's all. And this looks like an appropriate battery. Estimated delivery, October 16th. Not good. Where's the shipping? Why is there no shipping to changes? Anyway. I don't even know what that is. That's called a beanie. The other is called a beanie. But Canadians are weird. Yes. Okay, anyway. I'm going to leave that open on my thing so I can look at where I'm going to find it from. Yeah, the best names in Canada. I don't know. You also apologise too much. I'm going. Coffee time. I got to get going. I need to start up the line. I ran out of Tiny Picos yesterday. Yay! So I have to go build more Tiny Picos. Thanks for everyone's help. And I think we have a solution for everything. Tai Fisher-you. I don't even know how to pronounce that, but hi. Okay. Thanks everyone. Goodbye. Have a fantastic week. I will chat with you all next time. Don't forget to press like. Or not. Bye.